Actually, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to your Pakistan Studies Refresher course. So, before we start off, let's have a quick overview that how will we be going about and how will we managing the things. So basically, 25th, 26th of April, if I'm not wrong, is your day when you are going to be appearing for your Pakistan Studies Paper 1 History. And then I guess a week later on, around 4th of May, you will be appearing for your uh, papers, for your geography paper. So basically, now how will we be going about is that okay, today I will be doing geography. So now, right now, during Ramadan, so Thursdays will be geography days. And the second day of our class, which will be on Sundays, I guess. So Sundays will be our history days. So one day we will be doing geography, one day we will be doing history. So first, I'll give you a detailed overview about the pattern of the geography paper. And then after moving on to the pattern of the geography paper, then we will move on to the revision, and then along with the revision, we will be doing the topical past papers as well. So in this way, you will be having the topical past papers as well. In this way, we will be having revision as well. And plus, you will be having overall view of the paper pattern as well. So first of all, in geography, as you all know, that you have 5 questions. Each question has in total 25 marks, equal marks, and you have to do it. So now, when you have 5 question geography, and each question has an equal number of marks. So the most difficult thing which becomes is to how to make a choice. Okay. Now, all the 5 questions have a similar format. Now, if you would see on your screen that first of all, for every question, part A is typically worth 1 or 2 marks. Okay. And if you see, it says questions that asks you to recall the name of a city, a port, or a crop, for example, or ask you to write a list. So basically, out of 5 questions, 3 questions will at least have a map work. 3 questions will at least have a map work. Remember that. And map work is crucial. And if at least, let's suppose, if I am answering 3 questions and I don't want to do map work, so do or die, at least I have to attempt 1 question which will have map work. So map work is very, very important, right? So for every question, the first 1 marker or 2 marker or 3 marker questions will always, the first part will always be a 1 marker or 2 marker short question. So in this question, you have to write about places, crops, maps, processes, right? So ye hai one-liners. Now these answers can be one-word answers as well. These answers can be, agar 1 mark question hai, so 1 mark question can be a one-word answer as well. A 1 mark question can be a one-sentence answer as well. Both are required, and that depends on question to question. And that you will understand through the keywords. Okay. Now, if the keywords is like this, if the keyword says list, so then you will only give one-word answer. If the keyword says state, then you may give a one-word or a short phrase answer. So this all depends from on the key phrases or on the keywords, which I will go on along with you. Then, so if you see over here, the examiner has given a very, very important thing, and that important thing is attempt all the questions, okay, Give an answer even if you're not sure. So the first basic thing is geography mein, there is no negative marking, right? You leave the answer blank, you're still getting zero. You write a wrong answer, you are still getting a zero. Understand? If you write a wrong answer, you are still getting a zero. You leave your answer blank, you are still getting a zero. So अगर आपको blank छोड़ने के लिए 0 marks मिल रहा है, तो why not attempt it? At least you will still have a 1% chance कि मेरा आंसर शायद राइट हो सकता है. तो इसीलिए ये जो पार्ट ए वाले क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, पार्ट ए वाले क्वेश्चंस के अंदर अगर आपको इन केस आंसर नहीं आ रहा है, नो नीड टू पैनिक. नो नीड टू पैनिक. You can leave it instead of leaving it blank, you may attempt it. So over here, again, as examiner saying the same thing, you can give very brief answers, sometimes single words if you're asked to do lists. So again, remember one thing, in part A वाले questions के अंदर वो लंबे चौड़े आपने आंसर्स नहीं लिखने होते हैं. Remember that. ठीक है? No long answers, short answers, maybe one word answer, maybe a short phrase answer. Then you have part B. अब पार्ट बी वाले क्वेश्चन के अंदर क्या होता है कि अंदर पार्ट बी वाला क्वेश्चन यू हैव टिपिकल क्वेश्चन व्हिच इज कंटेन्स फोटोग्राफ्स, ग्राफ, टेबल्स एंड मैप्स. अब फॉर एग्जांपल यू हैव 5 क्वेश्चंस. 5 में से 2 विल बी फोटोग्राफ क्वेश्चंस, 1 विल बी अ ग्राफ क्वेश्चन, 2 will be map questions, or 2 will be graph questions, 1 will be map question. इस तरह the questions are divided. Okay. And over here, you are not required to label the maps over here. Over here, you are required to interpret the map, or interpret the graph, or interpret the source. The source can be a picture, a photograph of me like smiling. The picture can be the source can be a graph of a crop, graph of fishing, graph of population, or a source can be a map of limestone distribution, a map of cotton growing areas, a map of population density. So a map of anything. Okay. So over here, what does the examiner says? You must look very carefully at the labels, titles, access, and key of the resource. That's the important thing, right? Labels, titles, access, and key of the resource. You must use these units if you're being asked to provide data, meaning don't just write down the figures. Figures के साथ साथ आपने जो है ना वो you have to write down the unit. For example, अगर cotton का मैप बना हुआ है तो million acre per feet is the unit. अगर टेम्परेचर है तो डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड्स इज द यूनिट. अगर रेनफॉल है तो millimeters is the unit. So you have to put the unit as well. Okay. Then then B part 2 is normally question, or normally part C is the question which requires you to explain. Now, this is the main marks scoring or marks losing questions. Okay. Okay, where you have to explain. अब explain के अंदर, अब this question is typically 4 marks. So remember one thing, if you have 2 things, remember. If you have a 4-mark question, number 1, and number 2, if it's a explain, if the command word is or the keyword is explain. So if the keyword is explain, if the command word is explain, in that case, you will do what? You will write down 2 reasons in a 4-mark answer. How many reasons? You will write down 2 reasons in a 4-mark answer. And after writing down 2 reasons in the 4-mark answer, what you will do is that you will develop those points. You will you will develop those reasons. Two reasons for four markers, but along with development. That's the main thing. Actually. Now, moving on, then you will have some subparts which may ask you to state and describe. Abhi soon on the content tab, I will upload a glossary for your all the important keywords over here. So you can use those glossary to understand कि basically कौन से words की क्या requirement होती है, right? So state whenever you have a state question or whenever you have a describe question. In state question, describe question, you are required to give short answers. Okay. Now, these questions are basically testing your knowledge and they're testing your understanding. That's it. Then comes the most important and the most difficult and the most confusing question, and that is the part D 6 marker questions. So we will study in detail on how to answer 6 marker questions. But 6 marker questions के लिए, if you see over here, what have I mentioned? Very simple format. We will practice a lot 6 markers, but right now you to understand is K for 6 markers, because 6 markers are always argumentative questions. एक चीज आप लोग ना अपने mind में free कर ले, and that is what they all are, argumentative questions. Now, when I say the argumentative questions, so argumentative questions basically means that you have to build an argument. Now, how will I build an argument? I will build an argument by one simple thing. I will build an argument by writing down 2 reasons for one side of the argument and then one reason for the side which you disagree. That's how we build an argument, right? Give arguments for and give arguments against. So we will be giving arguments for, 2 arguments for, and then we will be giving arguments against, 1 argument against. That is in total 3 points. But all the 3 points will be well developed. So yeah. So for these 3 points, examiner has outlined 4 marks. 4 marks for the content, right? 4 marks for your argument. And then after 4 marks for the argument, then we will give an example. Now, the example can be for any of the 3 points which you have mentioned. अब मैं अगर 3 points लिख रहा हूँ, मैं 2 points for लिख रहा हूँ, मैं 1 point against लिख रहा हूँ, तो अगर मैं अब if I want तो मैं जो मैंने for के लिए points लिखे हैं, उन for वाले points के लिए मैं से किसी एक point के साथ मैं example दे दूं, या जो मैंने against का point दिया है मैं उसके साथ example दे दूं. मुझे total एक example देना है, and that example can be from any one of the 3 points. So 1 mark for the example. So 4 marks for the content, 1 mark for the example, that's 5 marks. And then 1 mark is for the evaluation. And then 1 mark is for the evaluation. So in total, that's how 6 marks you get. Now, evaluation, you can give at the start of the answer or at the end of the answer. That's up to you. Okay, ये मैंने आपको briefly समझाया है. Once we start revising and practicing, तो उसके बाद I'll technically show you कि हमने आगे से किस तरह लेके चलना है उसको. ठीक है? So that's how one question is made of 25 marks. सबसे पहले part A होता है. Part A is, as I just told you, 1 marker, 2 marker questions. Then part B आता है. Part B is 2 or 3 marker questions. Then part C आता है 4 marker questions. And then part D आता है 6 marker questions. So that's how we go about it. Now I will be starting with the first main important chapter. And that first main important chapter is the mother and father of all chapters. And that mother and father of all chapters is basically your chapter topography. Okay. Now, chapter topography, as I told you, is the mother and father of all chapters. How will we be going about it? So first chapter, chapter number one is map work and it is topography. Topography of Pakistan, the main chapter. Okay. Now map work is very, very crucial because map work is not only linked to chapter number one. I can repeat, map work is not linked to only chapter number one. Map work is basically that topic which eventually becomes part of every chapter. वाटर रिसोर्सेज है, वहां पे मैप वर्क आ जाएगा, मैप वर्क ऑफ रिवर्स, मैप वर्क ऑफ डैम्स, एग्रीकल्चर हो गया, मेन कॉटन ग्रोइंग एरियाज, मेन शुगर केन ग्रोइंग एरियाज, ये सब चीज आ गई इसके अंदर। पावर रिसोर्सेज है, इंडस्ट्रीज है, ट्रेड है, ट्रांसपोर्ट है, हर जगह मैप वर्क आ जाता है। इसलिए मैंने आपसे कहा ना कि मैप वर्क इज व्हाट, द मदर एंड फादर ऑफ ऑल चैप्टर्स। ठीक है। अब मैप वर्क के अंदर सबसे पहले नंबर वन, वी नीड टू नो द मैप वर्क ऑफ नेबरिंग कंट्रीज। Then we need to know the map work of provinces. Then, number three, we need to know the map work of latitude. Then we need to know the map work of longitude. Then we have to do the map work of rivers. Then the map work of dams. Then the map work of cities. Then we need to know the map work of mountains. Then we need to know the map work of mountain passes. Then we need to know the map work of plateaus. Then deserts. And then plains. These are the 12 main elements of your map work. Neighboring countries, provinces, latitude, longitude, rivers, dams, cities, mountains, passes, plateaus, then deserts, and then plains. So now I will teach you all the 12 map work things. So are you guys ready? Shall we start? So before I move on, just let's have a small intro. So Fatma Shafiq, from which school are you from? If you could just, put in the live chat. Sarim. Then we have Sam, Naki, Ahil, Omar, Suleiman, Sarah, Shahir. Then we have Tahir, Musa Paracha, Mariam, Rahim, Rameshwar, Tehmina, Maria, Ishal, Zainab. So if you would just, have a quick. Okay. So moving forward, so let's talk about the neighboring countries first. Acha, one thing more, and that is कि मैप वर्ड के अंदर हम कोई भी चीज लर्न करेंगे सबसे पहले द बेसिक फंडामेंटल थिंग इज लेट्स हैव अ क्विक element of compass. Now, what's the quick element of compass? The quick element of compass is that basically, but as you all know, that in the compass, we have north, we have east, we have south, and we have west. Okay. So, a quick question, and that question is, okay, for example, if I mark this position point A, okay, so who will tell me कि what direction is point A? So far, Sarim is the one only who has answered yes. Tara, you are right. Maruki, Maria, you also right. So yes, most of you are right that A will be northeast, correct? Okay. Similarly, what about point B? What will be point B? What about point B? Point B will be southeast. Similarly, point C will be southwest. And point D will be northwest. Right? Now, once you have this clear understanding, so what you need to do is, okay, for the neighboring countries, so for the neighboring countries, what do we have? First of all, we have is China. China is where? China is in the north and northeast of Pakistan. Then number two we have is India. India is east and southeast of Pakistan. Number three we have is Iran. Iran is southwest of Pakistan. Number four we have is Afghanistan. Afghanistan is west and northwest of Pakistan. Okay. Now, having said this, how we will go forward? Now, द मेन थिंग इज, देखो मैप वर्क इज प्योरली कॉन्सेप्चुअल, ये कॉन्सेप्ट बिल्ड करना आप लोगों ने माइंड के अंदर, एंड देन यू हैव टू यूज दिस कॉन्सेप्ट टू आंसर इट. अब हाउ कम? वंस यू हैव रिटन डाउन कि जी चाइना ये है, इंडिया ये है, ईरान ये है, अफगानिस्तान ये है, देन यू विल लर्न दिस. ओके, आफ्टर लर्निंग दिस, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, this is Pakistan's map at the moment. ठीक है? For example, the question says, name the country A. So can you all guys see country A? Right? First of all, just before making random guesses, I'm pretty sure that most of you would be knowing the answer, but let's adapt a systematic approach to it. So country A, as you can guys see on the map, this country A is on which direction of Pakistan? Country A is on which direction of Pakistan? This is country A, by the way, if those of you can't find it on the map. This is country A. So country A is on which direction of Pakistan? Sara, what is the direction? Northeast, correct. So basically, sorry, I did not scroll down and I thought okay, you guys haven't replying. So just saw it. So apologies. So A is northeast. Now you will go back and you will see. Acha, by the way, A is north and northeast because this part is the north and this part is the northeast. So it's technically north and northeast both. So right now, if I see out of my neighboring countries, then I will recall out of the neighboring countries which we have learned, which country lies in the north and northeast. So the answer will be China. Okay. That's how we will go about it. Simple as that. Okay. So आपने करना क्या है? आपने करना यही है आपने. अब जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मैं आपसे बोलता हूं कि let's suppose the question says name the country B, right? Now you will automatically see what country B है. अब country B is on which side of the Pakistan? You will use the compass to figure out. अब country B is on the, ये west हो गया हमारा. This is the whole west, and this area is the northwest. So country B is actually west and northwest. So if you will again go back, you will see okay, which country lies on the west and northwest. So the answer will be this is country Afghanistan. Understand? That's how simple it is. No rocket science, no difficulties. That's how you will simply figure this out. Clear? Now, so that's how you will be going about it. Similarly, अगर हम बात करते हैं Iran है, if you guys will see Iran, this is where Iran is. Iran is basically southwest of Pakistan. ये west है, this is the west. So this is the southwest. Similarly, one more thing I forgot to mention over here. We have one more neighboring country, and that neighboring country we have is Tajikistan. So Tajikistan is located on the northwest of Pakistan. Okay. Northwest of Pakistan, Tajikistan, and Tajikistan ke liye one more thing is that, okay, if you guys will see that over here, can you see the, yeah, the blue area which I'm shading right now? This blue area which I'm shading right now, this is a small portion of Afghanistan which separates which separates Tajikistan with Pakistan. So this is Tajikistan, right? And this part is Pakistan. And in between, in this blue portion, which I'm now also highlighting with red, this is basically a small portion of Afghanistan. So technically, we do not have a direct border with Tajikistan, but yes, Tajikistan is our neighboring country. And this small portion which separates Pakistan with Tajikistan is known as the Wakhan Strip or the Wakhan Corridor. So over here, you will write down one small thing, and that one small thing is, okay, it is separated with Pakistan. Well, sorry, it is separated from Pakistan by the Wakhan Strip, or also called as the Wakhan Corridor. So that's what you will mention over here. So this was the easy part. Now, the next thing is, so now we are learned with the neighboring countries, then we have the provinces. So provinces ke andar, simple as that, we have 5 provinces. Number one we have is Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Now you can simply mention Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, but obviously it becomes too tiresome to write on the whole. That is why in your answers you can use KPK. KPK is in the northwest of Pakistan. The number two we have is Gilgit Baltistan. Gilgit Baltistan is one province. नाम दो अलग-अलग है, but it has been merged into one. Gilgit Baltistan is in the north and northeast. Okay. Number three we have is अच्छा जी, so continuing, so Punjab is basically central and central west. Then number four we have is Sindh. Sindh is south and southeast. Then the last one we have is Balochistan. Balochistan के अंदर we have is west and southwest. Okay. Now, for example, how will we use this knowledge? Okay. Now we will use this knowledge in a very simple way. For example, right now, if you guys will see, हमारे पास जो है वो है number one Sindh, right? अब now Sindh अभी पाकिस्तान है. Remember one thing, everyone. ये पाकिस्तान का नॉर्थ है, ये पाकिस्तान का ईस्ट है, ये पाकिस्तान का साउथ है. एंड लेट मी ऑल्सो राइट इट डाउन एज वेल. ये पाकिस्तान का नॉर्थ हो गया, ये पाकिस्तान का ईस्ट है, ये पाकिस्तान का साउथ है, ये पाकिस्तान का वेस्ट है. राइट नाउ कीपिंग दैट इन माइंड, नाउ यू मे फिगर आउट कि अब गिलगित बल्तिस्तान है, सो गिलगित बल्तिस्तान इज नॉर्थ एंड नॉर्थ ईस्ट. अब this whole area is your Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. ठीक है? So Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is completely on the west and north. So it is going to be northwest, right? Then we have Balochistan. This whole area is what? It's west and southwest. ठीक है? Then we have similarly Sindh. Sindh is going to be, as you can see, south and southeast. ठीक है? अब एक जरा सा let's have a quick you can say short checkup. Okay, how good have you learned? Now, right now, on the map which you can see, you have Punjab में मैंने क्या लिखा है? Punjab में मैंने लिखा Central West. Sorry, my bad. Punjab is going to be Central East. Okay, so now D, E, F, G, H. Four provinces right now marked in front of you. So quickly, if you would mark it. उसके बाद जो है सो Let's discuss the answer. Okay, so the answer will be D is going to be Balochistan. D is going to be Balochistan. E is going to be Sindh. Then F is going to be Punjab. G is going to be KPK. And H is going to be Gilgit Baltistan. So before I move forward, I want anyone who is still unclear or has any question, Daim, Rafe, Farwa, Sam, Ryan, Tahir, Sahika, Tehmina, Harim, Suleiman, Ahil. Anyone having any confusion, please feel free to ask. If not, then we will be moving forward. No questions? Okay. Now, moving forward, the next thing which we are going to learn is latitude. So, first of all, if I ask you, okay, what is latitude? So, what will be your answer? Latitude is basically my simple question. What is latitude? And please, अगर किसी ने बोला कि latitude जो है वो it's a horizontal line, it's a flat line, अगर किसी ने ऐसी कोई बात करी तो मैं कसम से जो है ना दीवार पे सर मार के अपना सर फोड़ दूंगा मैं. क्योंकि प्लीज देखा मारिया सॉरी मायरा इट्स हॉरिजॉन्टल इमेजिनरी लाइंस. तो आप जो कह रही हो सही कह रही हो. That's not wrong, but it's not the actual definition. So, latitude होता क्या है? जरा हम पहले इसको थोड़ा सा अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं. एंड उसके लिए आई वुड लाइक टू लेट माय द विंची आउट, माय इनर द विंची आउट. तो ये हमारा हो गया खूबसूरत सा अर्थ. ठीक है. अर्थ के अंदर जो है वो हमारे पास ये सेंटर ऑफ द अर्थ आ गया. एंड व्हाट इज द सेंटर ऑफ द अर्थ कॉल्ड एज इक्वेटर. राइट. अभी थोड़ा सा अनइवन डिवाइड हो गया, वो चलो खैर है. नाउ द नॉर्दर्न पार्ट ऑफ द अर्थ, द फर्स्ट द अपर क्वाड्रेंट, वी कॉल दिस एज द नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर and we call this as the southern hemisphere. तो सबसे पहले तो आप लोग मुझे बताओ कि In which hemisphere is Pakistan in? In which hemisphere is Pakistan in? Ah, ah, ah. Okay, so most of you are wrong. Pakistan is located in the northern hemisphere. Okay? Well, again, in fact, Daim, you were correct initially, but then you changed. So it's northern hemisphere, yes, because Pakistan is above the equator, not below the equator. Pehli baat. ठीक है? So for latitude, you may write this down. Okay, latitude is the line, is an imaginary line. You can write this down as well. ताकि सुकून मिल जाए आप लोगों को. Latitude is an imaginary line which measures the distance from the equator. Simple as that. Latitude is an imaginary line which measures the distance from the equator. This is what the definition of latitude is. So, for example, अगर ये एक कोई भी country है, कोई भी ऐसे country A है. So now, how far is this country A from the equator? So this distance is basically the latitude. Am I clear so far? Okay. Now, as per our syllabus, the Cambridge people, they have identified that which values do we have to learn. So first of all, we have to learn 23.5 degrees north. एक हमें ये value learn करनी है हमें. The second value we have to learn is 30 degrees north. The third value we have to learn is 32 degrees north. And number 4 we have to learn is 36 degrees north. So ever in your CIs, you will be having any latitude to label. So one thing which is for sure is that one latitude or those two latitude has to be any one of these 4 values. It has to be any one of these 4 values. A fifth value can't come. A fifth value can't come. That is one thing which is for sure. So now if you have a labeling of latitude, so you know that you have 4 options. And from those 4 options, you have to select one option. So imagine how easy it is. अब If I have written down over here 23.5, so 23.5 पे से 0.5 भी ऊपर या नीचे नहीं आ सकता. ऐसा नहीं है क्वेश्चन के अंदर 24 आ जाएगा या 23 आ जाएगा. 23.5 है, सो 23.5 ही रहेगा, उसमें और कोई डिफरेंस नहीं आएगा. ठीक है. Now, before we move on, a small one thing. Can all of you see on Pakistan's western side this pointed edge which I have drawn? Now, in my own terms, sorry, Naki, did not. I just saw your message. What did you miss? What do you want me to repeat? प्रिया 28 डिग्रीज पहले थी सिलेबस के अंदर, बट जब 2020 में सिलेबस दोबारा रिवाइज हुआ था, जब 28 डिग्रीज हटा दिया था. तो उससे पहले 2020 से पहले वाले पास पेपर्स में यू विल फाइंड 28 डिग्रीज, बट उसके बाद जो है वो अब वो रिमूव कर दिया था. Naki, I basically was telling you that the four values which we just discussed, that these four values. So in your CIs, whenever you will have a labeling of latitude, so the answer has to be from these four values. The answer can't be from any other fifth value. It can't be even 0.1 or 2 degrees up and down. It has to be from this over here as well. So, huh. So I over here on the map, I have drawn a red outline on the west of Pakistan's map. जो मैंने रेड से दोबारा मैं इसको शेड कर देता हूं मैं. This is the red outline I am talking about. So this red outline I am talking about, this in my terms, in my language, we call this as the Pinocchio nose. What do we call it as? The Pinocchio nose. अभी Pinocchio nose जो है ना, खाली हमारी आपस की क्लास की बात है. इसको हमने जो है ना सीआईज में लिख के नहीं आ जाना, और ना वही सीआईज के अंदर जो है वो एग्जामिनर का हाथ निकलेगा पेपर में से और थप्पड़ मारेगा आपको, यदि व्हाट इज द Pinocchio nose. ये तो हमने अपनी उसके लिए वी हैव लर्नड द Pinocchio nose. सो ऑलवेज रिमेंबर कि व्हेनेवर आई से कि भाई द Pinocchio nose, so Pinocchio nose से you guys should understand कि sir is referring to this pointed outline on Pakistan's map. ठीक है. सो आपने याद रखना है ये. So now what you will do is, in front of 23.5 degrees north, you will write down it is located just it is just located it is located just before the start of Pakistan. Then in front of 30 degrees north. Acha, by the way, if you don't write north, your answer will be marked as wrong. Even though आपका वैल्यू, आपका फिगर बिल्कुल ठीक है, बट अगर आपने उसको नहीं लिखा तो आपका रॉन्ग मार्क हो जाएगा. 30 डिग्रीज के लिए यू विल राइट डाउन इट इज located on the Pinocchio nose. It is located on what? The Pinocchio nose. अब how will I use these things to remember? अब एक सिंपल सी बात है. Now going back, अब ये रहा. अब everyone, this is where Pakistan starts. And everyone see over here. मैं नीचे में जो मैं रेड से इसको कलरिंग कर रहा हूँ. That's the point where Pakistan starts. Okay. Now, just before the start of Pakistan, we have a line of latitude. So, whenever a line of latitude is drawn, just before the start of Pakistan, अब ये पाकिस्तान का स्टार्ट है. अब आपके मैप में ये लाइन स्लाइटली ऊपर बनी हुई आ जाए या स्लाइटली नीचे बनी हुई आ जाए, still it will remain what? 23.5 degrees north. ठीक है? Don't get confused. यार सर ने जो मैप था, सर के मैप के अंदर जो है ये चीज तो अलग थी. प्लीज होल्ड ऑन फॉर 1 सेकेंड. ओके जी. सो बेसिकली जो है, सो दिस लाइन विल ऑलवेज बी योर 23 आई मीन सॉरी, दिस लाइन विल बी 23.5 degrees north at the start of Pakistan. Then similarly, what if a line is drawn on the Pinocchio nose? Now, if you guys remember, this is the Pinocchio nose, right? अब ये line on the Pinocchio nose draw हुई है ना? So this line which is drawn on the Pinocchio nose, this line will always be 30 degrees. तो Pinocchio nose से आपने याद कर लिया कि it is 30 degrees. So that is why मैंने यहाँ पे क्या लिखा हुआ है? It is located on the Pinocchio nose. Then number 3, 32 degrees north. For this, you will write down it is located above the Pinocchio nose. So now, again, if we go on the map, so if you guys will see the green line, जिसको मैंने C mark करा हुआ है. Now, you guys know where the Pinocchio nose is, right? Now, line C is just above the Pinocchio nose. So, line C, which is above the Pinocchio nose, this line is going to be how much? This line is going to be 32 degrees north. Understand? Then number 4 is 36 degrees north. For this, we will write down it is located at the end of Pakistan. Where it is located? At the end of Pakistan. Now, if I explain you what do I mean by the end of Pakistan, so yes. So everyone, if you would focus over here, so this area which I'm shading and drawing on my screen, this is what I call the end of Pakistan. Again, repeat. This is what I call the end of Pakistan. This again point in case if anyone missed. So our line of latitude, which is going to be oh really sorry, I'm back. So the last line which I was talking about is this line, which is located at the end of Pakistan. So this is going to be 30. This is going to be 36 degrees north. ठीक है? Now, then the next thing we have is, so now 36, 32, then we had 30, and then we had 36. अब मुझे बताओ anyone कि इनमें से out of these four, if you have any confusion in any of these four. If not, chalo. In the meanwhile, you guys can think and let me know. In the meanwhile, we'll move on to the next thing, and that next thing is the longitude. So now moving on to the next part, which is longitude. So questions, Raja, the questions will be of labeling. Map के ऊपर lines draw हुई होंगी, and the question will ask you to label it. ठीक है? अभी हम sample question कर भी लेंगे, don't worry. So longitude is basically If I ask you what's the longitude, so again, longitude is an imaginary line which measures the distance from the North Pole to South Pole. Priya, I think you will get the whole recorded lecture. The recorded lecture will be available. So if you want to, uh, go through, if you missed on anything, so you can watch the recorded class again. No, Sarah, that's not possible. 99% of your questions will be on mixed questions. Okay? At least it will be using the knowledge of two or more chapters. Now, in our syllabus, we have the following latitude values which we have to learn. So we have सबसे पहले 64 degrees east. In front of 64 degrees east, write down it intersects Balochistan only. And please don't be confused. अभी सिर्फ लिख लो. अभी I'll explain you किसका मतलब. What do I mean when I say it intersects Balochistan only? Then we have 68 degrees east. For this, write down it intersects Balochistan and Sindh. Then number three we have is 70 degrees east, and for that you will write down it intersects Balochistan, KPK, Punjab, and Sindh. In short, it intersects all the four provinces. Number four we have is 72 degrees east. This intersects Punjab and Sindh. And number five is 76 degrees east. It intersects Gilgit, Baltistan only. Now, what happens is, these are the five values which you need to understand. Okay, five values which you need to understand. Now, the point over here is that these five values which you need to understand over here is that कि अब अगेन आपके पेपर में जब भी ये फाइव वैल्यूज आएंगी तो ये फाइव वैल्यूज सिर्फ और सिर्फ जो है वो आए वही आ सकती है. देयर कांट बी अ सिक्स्थ वैल्यू कमिंग अपार्ट फ्रॉम इट. ठीक है. देयर कांट बी एनी सिक्स्थ वैल्यू कमिंग अपार्ट फ्रॉम इट. नाउ मूविंग फॉरवर्ड. Can you guys see lining on the map? Can you guys see lining on the map, right? Now, if you see okay, when line A is passing through Pakistan, so which province is it passing through in Pakistan? It is passing through Balochistan only. If you can see, line A ये आ रही है और ये पाकिस्तान में आई और ये पाकिस्तान में से क्रॉस करी. So this part, which is it is passing through in Pakistan, it is passing through Balochistan, right? So now this is just a technique to remember it. कि देखो, because these lines are always vertical lines, longitudes are always vertical lines. So whenever these vertical lines are passing, तो हमें सिर्फ check करना है कौन से province से ये pass कर रहे हैं, and that will automatically let you know that what is going to be the correct answer. Then, if you see line B, line B is passing through which two provinces? Balochistan and Sindh. So line B will be 68 degrees east. Then similarly हमारे पास है line C. अब line C, अच्छा देखो, Daim and Suleiman, both of you. I'm repeating myself. देखो हमने करना क्या है कि we only have to figure out कि जो line of longitude है जब वो पाकिस्तान में से पास करती है तो which provinces it is passing through. ठीक है. अब Saim and Daim, sorry, Suleiman and Daim, if you would focus on line A, ठीक है, लाइन ए जब पाकिस्तान में से पास कर रही है तो फ्रॉम विच प्रोविंस इट इज पासिंग थ्रू. Naim and Sulaiman, I'm waiting for your answer. When line A is passing through Pakistan, from which province is it passing through? बलूचिस्तान, करेक्ट. अब आप यहाँ पे जाइए, यहाँ पे हमने क्या लिखा हुआ है? Which line intersects बलूचिस्तान only? Which line intersects Balochistan only? $64 east. So line A, oops. So line A will be what? 64 degrees east. Similarly, line B intersects between which two provinces? Balochistan and Sindh. So line B will be 68 degrees east. सुलेमान बेटा आपने 76 क्यों लिख दिया आपने? 76 passes through गिलगित बल्तिस्तान ओनली ना. और यहाँ तो हमने 76 की बात ही नहीं करी अभी हमने. तो लाइन ए will be 64 degrees east. Line B will be 70 degrees east. And line C will be 70 degrees east. Then Line D, line D is basically intersecting KPK. नहीं, मुझसे गलती हो गई, सॉरी। ये 70 नहीं है, ये 68 था। And D is going to be 72. And then the last one, which is line E, this is going to be 76 degrees east. Now, you guys may ask, एक मर्तबा also go through कर लो and let me know कि 64, 68, 70, 72, 76. Out of these five, which one is still unclear? Priya, the longitudes are as east because they are increasing towards the east direction. That is why we write down degrees east. Rameshwar 72 जो है ना, if you would see, 72 is passing through KPK. इतना ऐसा KPK से पास कर रही है. This is KPK and then this is Punjab. So if you see, 72 passes between, मैंने यहाँ पे गलत लिख दिया. Yes, it's 72 is KPK in Punjab. Now, I guess it would be clear because by mistake I wrote down Punjab and said it was KPK in Punjab. So now 72 degrees is going to be KPK and Punjab. जी बेटा राजा आप बिल्कुल कह सकते हैं. By this time, Acha, now a quick go through. Let's see how well have you guys understood. Right now on the map in front of you, you guys can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 lines. 3 lines of longitude, 3 lines of latitude. So I'm giving it quickly, 2 minutes. But in fact, 2 minutes. Label these 6 lines. 3 lines of longitude and 3 lines of latitude. So you have to identify the 3 lines of longitude and 3 lines of latitude. And let me know once you're done. Hmm. So let's see. Number one we have is 68 degrees east. No, sorry. 64 degrees east. Number two is 70 degrees east. Number three is 76 degrees east. Beta, Myra, Sarim, tell me one thing. Nakeem, Mohammed, have I taught you 78 degrees? No, no. So when I told you that answer has to be any one of these five values, any one of these five values, so there can't be a 78. There can't be a 78. The answer has to be 76. Even though I told you get slightly up and down, 78 तो मैंने बताया 78 तो हो ही सकती है. The answer has to be from any one of these five values. That is why number three is going to be 76 degrees. As I told you earlier, it, it is slightly up or down. Then lines of latitude के अंदर लाइंस ऑफ लैटिट्यूड के अंदर हमारे पास क्या बचा है. हाँ. So number four is going to be 23.5 degrees north. So the question says, name the line of the latitude. So you will say 3.5 degrees north. If the question says name the line, so you will say the naming के अंदर this is going to be the Tropic of Cancer. Then number five is going to be 30 degrees north, and number six is going to be 36 degrees north. So I hope most of you are pretty clear on this, how to go about it. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. देखो बेटा, Raja, even though if the question, if the map doesn't come as full image and they give us the closure of a look of a part of a map. So देखो, in that case also, all you just have to do is analyze it. Otherwise, जो मैंने आपको keys and figures दिए हुए हैं, अब आपको keys and figures ही आपको थोड़ा सा मतलब they will help you out. जैसे for example, अगर आप example ले रहे हैं, अब जैसे take this for example, ये इसी तरह partial map है, right? Now over here, अब ये सिंध है, ये बलूचिस्तान है. That's what they have mentioned. अगर अब यहाँ से फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर एक लाइन ऑफ longitude यूं आ रही होती. As a question would have said कि जी नेम. सो आपने बोला ये बलूचिस्तान से क्रॉस करी है, बिल्कुल शुरू में है, विच मीन्स कि इससे ऊपर तो कोई और प्रोविंस नहीं है. So this is going to be 64 degrees east. So sometimes sometimes you will try to understand this. But obviously you will be required to use certain, you know, aspects, concepts. तो उससे जो आपको ऑटोमेटिक चीज आंसर आ जाएगी. Beta Priya, we will be doing past papers after every class, but for today's class, because our class was a introductory class, so basically first we learn the map work. उसके बाद once we will be doing other chapters, तो फिर after every chapter we will be doing past papers. अभी क्योंकि map work basic है, इसलिए I'm spending a lot of time on the map work. Otherwise map work पे हमें तो time spend करना था नहीं. बट क्योंकि बेसिक है इसलिए हम उसको ज्यादा टाइम स्पेंड करें ताकि आप लोगों की चीज पूरी पूरी क्लियर हो जाए. So if you guys don't have any questions, I guess that is for today. See you guys inshallah in the next class on Sunday where we will be doing history.